Is there really a civil war brewing in Texas, or is it clickbait and politicians wanting to profit off your fears? Here's a rundown of the top headlines and what's real and what's not. There is an actual standoff in Texas between the National Guard and federal forces on the border. But is it a civil war like some are saying? Many Americans are organizing to head to the border to support opposing sides now, even including militias who intend to defend the state's side. Texas has lost their case in the Supreme Court, but that's what specifically emboldened the governor to double down with his mobilized forces. There's a bipartisan supported bill to address immigration, but former President Trump is asking current Republican supporters to vote against it. But is that really what could kill the deal? Here's a factual rundown of what's happening and where this may lead as tensions build. We all know that the border crisis has been a boiling point for both sides, and the number of migrants crossing are at historic levels. Governor Greg Abbott has accused the Biden administration of not doing enough, and in turn has been implementing new deterrents such as barriers in the Rio Grande. Those barriers have been categorized as inhumane by the administration, and some of it has been removed. However, things have taken a very different turn in recent days. The governor directed that large amounts of razor wire be placed along specific parts of the Rio Grande. As soon as this started, officials at the federal level said that this is illegal and that it threatens not only Border Patrol agents but also the migrants who have to navigate those areas. The governor made it clear that the wire would not be removed, and it was taken to the Supreme Court. Earlier this week, in a 5-4 decision, the Supreme Court said that the U.S. Border Patrol agents could indeed remove the razor wire that the state put in place. The Justice Department had argued that the fencing hampers the work of those Border Patrol agents. Some of the illegal migrants have reportedly cut themselves on the wire. In turn, federal resources went to remove that wire. Here's where things got really wild. Upon arriving, federal resources ran into the state's National Guard, who said that they would not allow those federal resources to pass and conduct the removal that had been approved in court. In turn, both sides are now posted up on opposing sides, awaiting for the next direction from superiors. Governor Greg Abbott now asserts that though the court ruled against the state, he is claiming that not only does Texas have constitutional authority, saying, quote, the supreme law of the land and supersedes any federal statutes to the contrary, but also that the president has not fulfilled his duty to the state, and in turn, even if what the state is doing is in otherwise normal circumstances illegal, the fact that the president has let this situation happen leaves Texas no choice and inherently makes this not illegal. While this continues to be argued, forces on both sides continue to stand by. At the same time, now many other groups around the country are trying to mobilize in Texas to support each side that they support, but this also now includes militia groups, leading to the claim that this is the start of a potential civil war. While that makes for big headlines, it's all but certain that the president will not push this to a conflict leading to an exchange of gunfire, though it's not clear based off what Abbott is saying how far he's willing to go. This standoff will most likely be lasting a while as people continue behind closed doors to find an off-ramp to end this. Last week, President Biden said that he was, quote, ready to act, but argued lawmakers on Capitol Hill must first agree on significant policy reforms. Lastly, there is a bipartisan bill emerging in the U.S. Senate that the media has been mentioning, and this is true. However, many aren't saying that even though it does have bipartisan support, it's far from getting the support needed to actually pass. Much of the media is also pointing to the fact that former President Donald Trump, the Republican White House frontrunner, has reportedly pressured allies to kill the bill to avoid giving Biden a win in an election year. And while that also does appear to be true, it's not as though the bill is anywhere near passing with or without Trump's approval.